A poppet is a voodoo doll. It is used in sympathetic magic based on the idea that like creates like. By creating a poppet of a specific person, anything done to that poppet will affect the person it represents. Poppets are mostly useful for spells that attract or keep a lover, healing spells, banishing spells, or any spell designed to affect a specific person. The voodoo religion is the most well-known culture to use the poppet, but the use of sympathetic magic goes back thousands of years. As far back as 1100 BC, enemies of Pharaoh Ramses III of Egypt used wax images of him to bring about his death, including the women of his harem. The ancient Greeks used sympathetic magic in love spells and defensive spells. Greek puppets were used to restrain a ghost or a dangerous deity, or to bind two lovers together. The idea of wax dolls in sympathetic magic has carried on throughout the centuries. In the 18th century, the wife of King George IV spent many hours forming wax dolls of her husband and jabbing them with pins. In West African magic, poppets are usually made of wood and are called fetishes. They are believed to be possessed by spirits, and they represent the spirit of the doll's owner. The doll contains magical power and is carried by its owner either on the body or as an amulet. This is how voodoo puppets made their way to the New World, although slave owners in North America were permitted to hand out a death sentence to anyone found in possession of a voodoo doll. In voodoo itself, the use of poppet magic became popular in New Orleans after the end of the Civil War. A poppet is usually made out of cloth, but they can also be made from clay, wood, wax, or other materials. It is best to fill them with herbs in line with the purpose of the spell, as well as personal items related to the subject of the spell, such as strands of hair. Although sometimes poppets are stuffed only with cotton, and that works as well. Whether you decide to use a cloth doll, a wooden doll, or a wax doll, just remember that poppets have a long tradition behind them and is influenced by the magical practices of many cultures. If you find yourself drawn to a particular culture's pantheon of deities, then use methods that honor those deities. The color of the poppet reflects the purpose of the spell. For a money or wealth poppet, you would use green, gold, or silver cloth, and dollar signs, dollar bills, and earth symbols. For a love poppet, use pink or red, and hearts, cupids, roses, and flowers. For a banishing poppet, use black, and swords, wands, or dragons. For a creativity poppet, use orange or yellow, and sun or fire symbols. For a protection poppet, use red or white, and keys and locks. For a spirituality poppet, use white, blue, or silver, and moons, clouds, air, or water symbols. Poppets can also be used in healing spells, and sticking pins in the poppet can be used for good. For treating someone who experiences back pain, insert the pins in the poppet's back. The pins represent the pain itself, and when they are slowly drawn out of the poppet, at the same time the sharp pain would be drawn out of the target's body. Once you have your poppet, you need to tie the doll to the person the poppet is to represent before casting the spell. You can use hair or nail clippings, the person's signature, or just their name written on a piece of paper, bodily fluids, or even just a photograph. You can put these items inside the poppet or attach them to the outside. Now that the poppet is linked to that person, you can cast your spell. Please view my shop for poppets that I have made, as well as some ritual spellcasting kits. Thank you for watching my video, and soon I will make more videos on some poppet voodoo rituals that you can do. Please rate, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful evening. Blessed be.